What did Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni say yesterday in their year-end press conference? Well, what did they really say? Can we actually figure out what they actually said? I don't know. Sixers play tonight. Phillies. Huge baseball news last night, right before bedtime, that will send ripple effects to the rest of the free agents, which will directly affect the Phillies. We're going to talk Phillies baseball. We're going to talk Eagles. We're going to give our divisional round playoff predictions trending in the AM. We're live with your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. A very good Friday to everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live as we are every single morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Please do me a favor before we get started. Whether you're live right now or whether you're watching this later today on replay, it is free to do it. It's free to hit the like button wherever it is on your screen. It is free to share this show out on all your social media platforms. And it is free to click the subscribe button on the channel. Starting this show live at 979 subscribers, a mere 21 from 1,000. So it's free to tell your friends, tell one, tell all to hit their subscribe button and get this going. Please, please, please do that, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel, and we got lots to talk about today. We got the year-end press conference from Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. They said a little, they said a lot, they said something, they said nothing. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about everything they said. We are also going to talk Phillies, which is directly linked to our live YouTube poll question of the day. Will the Phillies lift our spirits and sign Bichette this weekend? Your options are yes, no, or yes, and they'll sign JT Realmuto. So make sure you vote on that. Obviously, huge baseball news last night. Kyle Tucker signing an enormous, ridiculous, insane contract with the Dodgers. The rich continue to get richer. So we're going to talk about that today as well. And does that start the domino effect of the rest of the big free agents, Bichette, Cody Bellinger, et cetera, JT Realmuto? Will that start the domino effect that moves will start to drop here as we are less than 4 weeks from spring training beginning for most teams? So we got all that on tap. Let's get right into the comments. Let's get right into what everyone's feeling right now. Spill the beans. What is the news that will affect free agency in Major League Baseball? Kyle Tucker signs a 4-year, $260 million contract to go to the Dodgers. The rich get richer, right? Their luxury tax bill is higher than some teams' payrolls. $60 million a year for Kyle Tucker. It's an insane number, and I love Kyle Tucker. I thought he was going to get like an 8 or 10-year deal, $400 million. $60 million, second highest paid player, annual salary in baseball. Insane. And what is wrong with baseball? Like the Dodgers now have a payroll of $413.5 million. Their luxury tax bill will be $161.9 million. And I'm envious. I am envious of the Dodgers. I am envious that their fans have owners that are willing to spend that kind of money on their baseball team to get them to win. I am. The owners of the Phillies, the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, they got to be pissed off. They got to be looking at each other like, what the fuck? You're making us look bad over here to the Dodgers ownership. I wish my owner bought me World Series. I don't care that they buy World Series. They win World Series within the confine of the rules. Plain and simple. What's up, Elephant in the Room? Good morning. And good morning to you as well, Duck. What's up, Jason? Baseball is ruined. Baseball's going to go into a dark place after this upcoming season. There is no doubt about it. And I don't know if you noticed, but the Kyle Tucker contract actually has an opt-out after 2 years for Tucker and an opt-out after 3 years. So there's ways out of that contract, and there's going to be some problems in baseball. Good morning, Rick. Hope you're doing beautifully well this morning. Did not catch a show last night. Did pass out a little early last night. Good morning, Adam. How you doing? Tucker signing with team collusion means Phils probably don't get Bichette. I don't know if it's team collusion per se, but I do think Bichette, now the Blue Jays have to have a pivot off of Tucker, who they were one of the top targets for Tucker. The Mets wanted Tucker. They might pivot and spend that money on Bichette. It's crazy. The Phillies are not a lock this morning after that Tucker deal. 21 away from 1,000. Guys, hit that subscribe button. Please share this out and tell your friends to do it. $60 million a year for any baseball player is insane. It is. What's up, AK? We got lots of Eagles to talk about. We do. It is 8 a.m. Well, no, now it's 8:06 a.m. Nobody watches baseball but get millions of dollars. I mean, there's a lot of money in baseball. The Dodgers will be the reason a salary cap is instituted in baseball after the lockout. Yeah, but you know what? There is no salary cap right now. I don't get mad at the Dodgers. Again, envious is the word of the Dodgers. Their owners are willing to spend the money. Well, other owners pretend to want to spend money. They spend it. And I wish the Phillies would. And on top of always spending all that money, the Dodgers still have one of, if not the best farm system in baseball. So it's not like it's just money. They have a great organization top to bottom in L.A. over there. Eagles do need a new OC, and we're going to get into that here. I thought we'd start with the OC, Little G. Seems like we're leaning baseball to start today's show on Football Friday. Bichette will be the Philly. Dodgers going to pivot to Bellinger. I think all the smoke and rumors point to Phillies. Fingers crossed that we sign both Bichette and Real Muto. I hope we do. Sign both. Bellinger to the Dodgers, too? So we're going to get Tucker and Bellinger? Like, seriously, just shut the game down for the rest of the year at that point. All right? What's wrong with baseball is that they're in bed with one team just to tap into a foreign market. I mean, that's a theory. That's a thread I never thought of. I don't know about that. The Dodgers owners just know how much money they make, and they can continue to earn. It doesn't matter how much they spend. They still turn a profit. Giants will get real talent coming there. Now, John Harbaugh signed a 5-year, $100 million deal. Insane contract for John Harbaugh, the highest paid head coach in the NFL, tied now with Andy Reid. And I think it's insane that he got $20 million from the Giants. I don't think that the Giants realize how it's not going to work out. When you sign a head coach to $100 million, as the Giants did, you are not giving him 5 years to turn that team around. You got 2 years to be at least a contender in the playoffs. And the Giants, as long as Sheen is still the GM, will be always a disaster. As long as Mara is still the owner, allowing Sheen to be the GM, they will be a disaster. John Harbaugh does not solve the organizational flaws that the Giants have. And I think Giants fans are going to be disappointed. And I love it because they think they're going to the Super Bowl now with John Harbaugh. That's how people feel about Howie. Blue Jays won outfield. Oh, I thought you said Dodgers. Sorry. Yeah, you put Dodgers in there. That's why I was a little confused. It's all good. We got it. 3-peat Dodgers. Just skip baseball season. Dumont. Hey, if you listen to Fairway to Heaven, K1, you heard me drop a nugget on Adrien Dumont de Chassette. Okay? He's Belgian, but I say it with a French accent for some reason. I talked about him on Fairway to Heaven, and look at him shooting, 5 or 6 under yesterday? There might be a little bit of golf knowledge up here that you guys should track. Did Dodgers win Penn? What? Phil, when all is said and done and the dust settles, who do you believe will be the Eagles' offensive coordinator? I think it's hard to say who I think it will be. But I think what I can say confidently is that one of 3 things are going to happen. Okay? Mike McDaniel will be the offensive coordinator instead of head coach with the Eagles. Brian Dable will be the offensive coordinator most likely if it's not McDaniel. And maybe they stretch. I've heard a couple names, Charlie Weiss Jr., David Shaw, a bunch of guys with college experience that have never called plays in the NFL is option 3. They might surprise us with a passing game coordinator or a college guy, but most likely it's going to be McDaniel or Dable, in my opinion. I'll lean Dable's way just because I don't like the person of Mike McDaniel, but I might have to get myself used to the idea of saying Mike McDaniel because everybody knows it's not McDaniels, it's McDaniel. Steinbrenner didn't cause the salary cap. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. The problem isn't just the salary cap. The real issue is salary floor. Teams should have to spend a certain amount of money to compete. Yeah, I mean, look at it. The Marlins are the lowest payroll right now projected in 2026 at just over $100 million. The Dodgers are over $413 million. That's a $313 million difference, which would be that difference between the Dodgers and Marlins is more than every baseball team but the Mets and the Dodgers payroll. Rough week in Philly sports, something like 1-9 over the last 10 games. We got the Sixers taking on the Cavaliers again tonight at home. Maybe they break the streak tonight. They have a great farm system because a lot of the draftees come from California, and they tell other teams they don't want to sign if they're drafted anywhere. Look, I mean, being in LA helps them with that, helps them get the Asian market. Good for them. I mean, that's just the way it is. Not unfair. When you have 2 or 3 teams spending all the money and teams like the Pirates who continue to be dormants. I mean, you look at the Pirates and the Tigers. They have stud pitchers. Will they even keep them because of the money? Just see the arbitration settlement or argument between Skeens and the Tigers. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Just spend a little bit. That $100 million is desperation, not belief. Yeah. I posted a short video on here or on YouTube and on TikTok. And on TikTok, I'm getting killed by Giants fans because of it. Just laughing at Dodge. I don't really laugh at them. I just blatantly say honestly that I think John Harbaugh to the Giants is not a bad thing for the Eagles because he is not going to turn the team around. As when you sign a $100 million coach, you expect instant gratification. Problem is, he isn't going to be able to bring them instant gratification there. Mitchkoff coming to Barkley's aid in this week's I don't even know what that is. Don't even know what you're talking about. Hopefully Sixers can bounce back with back win. Look, the Cavs are a good team. The Sixers got to get off their shooting slump at this point. NFC just got a bit more competitive. See, I strongly disagree with that. I don't think John Harbaugh will be the difference in a win or two. You still got to hope. We always spent the last 2 years is talking about C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels' regressions in their second year. No one expects Jackson Dart to regress? We're sure Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors will be healthy? Yeah, they got a good defense. They got a high-end draft pick. But Joe Sheen stinks at drafting. Well, shouldn't say he stinks at drafting. He's okay at drafting. But he makes dumb decisions. This year's New York Rangers and Sixers stink at home so far and are road warriors. I'd have to look at that. I'm not even sure. As far as the presser yesterday, we learned nothing. It was basically a Howie Nick love fest, but talk about beating around the bush. Look, you know, and this is going to set Rick off the deep end as well. Yeah, or not Rick, Duck. All the Sirianni haters are gonna get set off on the deep end here. I am finally kind of annoyed with Nick Sirianni a little bit. He was peppered with questions about the OC and the autonomy of the offense and what kind of control and this and that. And he gives such a long-winded, dumb-ass answer. You can just say yes or no. You can get to the point. Asked whether he will have input in the offense next year. Will it be a collaborative effort or not? And Nick Sirianni goes here, there, this, that, does not answer anything. And you know what? He sounded like a fool yesterday to the bigger audience. Like, what's this guy doing? What's this guy talking about? And it's kind of annoying. It really, really is. I want to see Nick Sirianni come out and say, look, this collaborative effort, I collaborate with my offensive coordinator throughout the week. I give him play calling duties on the weekend, on the game day. It worked for Shane Steichen. It worked for Kellen Moore. It didn't work for Kevin Patullo. And the next OC, I'm sure I will have some influence. Him saying, well, he's better for this team as the head coach than when he could be just the head coach. And I can work with tackling and ball control and turnovers and stuff. Like, come on now. We know you're an offensive mind. Whether you're good or not at it, that's whatever. That's not the point. The point is, just be honest with your answer. Don't give me a 30, 60-second answer that makes no sense. Adrian Dumont-Chassé or John Vanderlaan, that should have been the poll question. Yeah, it should have been. Who's going to be the rookie of the year on the PGA Tour? Flyers 0-4-1 in the last 5 minus 16 needs to spark. Well, that's going to be a big test right there. Dodgers get a hell of a lot. Got a hell of a 7 of their 9 lineup guys are former All-Stars. 3 MVPs. I pissed off my friend yesterday who's a Giants fan, and I haven't heard from him 24 hours. Look, Giants fans are grasping at straws, and I get it. They're desperate for something positive. Both the Rangers and the Flyers are horrible. Let's not be BS news. Flyers are good. They're struggling right now. Mitchkov fought someone for hitting Denver. Okay, gotcha. I didn't even know Mitchkov ever fought. The Giants can't seem to develop players. They can't. Maybe John Harbaugh helps that a little bit. People act like Harbaugh has multiple rings and wasn't with the organization. John Harbaugh hasn't won anything in over a decade, okay? Bono's Cure Auto Insurance, I bet you that. You can see what and Nick Sirianni brings now. Deflection. Nick Sirianni does deflect. And it's becoming annoying. I'm not losing faith in Nick Sirianni as the CEO head coach. The CEO or press conference, Nick Sirianni, I would like and I would appreciate some more direct answers from him occasionally. We're going to talk the Howie Roseman comments on A.J. Brown probably a few times today. But at least Nick Sirianni's answers aren't just deflection. Nick Sirianni's answers are long-winded deflections. It's a word salad. At least Howie Roseman was asked, will he trade A.J. Brown this offseason or will he consider it? And Howie Roseman didn't say yes or no. He said, we look to acquire great players. A.J. Brown is a great player. So there's that. So he didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He just hyped up how great A.J. Brown is and how they're happy he's on the team. Didn't say yes, didn't say no. It was a deflection answer, but an answer that's just to the point and concise. Get 20, 30 minutes in a press conference. I don't need you taking up 2 minutes with one answer and not actually answering the question. God forbid you get a football answer for anything a football asking. Exactly. Just give me an answer. You knew you were going to be asked about that. You could have prepared a more direct answer to the question. Look, we're still working on who the OC will be. I'm involved in the interview process. Howie and I are going to make this decision sooner or later. And then we'll discuss what the plan will be with whoever that hire is. But no, they don't do that. Nick Sirianni just goes, like, I can read you his quote. It's nauseating. In Harbaugh's defense, it's not his fault his quarterback goes soft in the playoffs. And Jackson Dart will go hard in week 14 and be out for the playoffs. Because Steichen and Moore can read the ebbs and flows of the game and correct play calling to meet these challenges. Nepo Bay didn't have that. Exactly. So I have no problem with Nick Sirianni being involved in the game planning. It hasn't stopped anybody else from succeeding, really. Phillies got Renteria. Yeah, I saw that. Son of Edgar Renteria, former star player in baseball. Great. I mean, we'll see him in 2047 when he's 31 and they finally call him up from the minors, right? Flyers hit a dead spot in this is hockey. They'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, we'll learn whether they'll be fine or not soon. In years past, that was 2 years ago, they were a fringe playoff team that hit a spot and never recovered. This team's more talented. We'll see. With $20 million a year, what's his motivation at this point? He has a garbage organization that has unrealistic expectations. Yeah. Like, I get it. I get it. And I agree 100% with that as well. You're talking about a guy that's been dealing with a conference that consisted of the Patriots, Steelers, Bills, Chiefs, et cetera, when it mattered. The NFC East will be peanuts for him. Well, I mean, the NFC East, you've got to deal with the Eagles, which is still a thing. And you're talking conference versus division. In in the NFC, you still got to deal with the Packers. You still got to deal with the Rams, the Seahawks, the Lions, all on par with some of these teams. Just saying. Sounds like Howie said no to me. Sounds like Howie said to me on the A.J. Brown, will you trade him thing. Sounds like to me that Howie Roseman said, we're open for business on A.J. Brown. But you better blow me the bleepity bleep away with a trade offer. He will trade A.J. Brown. But as I say, I don't think you can get more than a late second-round pick, Patriots second-round pick, or a bad team's third-round pick in the early. You're going to get picked 62 to 75 for A.J. Brown. And that's not good enough. And Howie will say no to that. But if you want to call and offer me a top 20 pick for him, sure. We could talk business. If you want to call and offer me a third-round pick and a star player from like the Patriots call and say, I'll give you my third and Christian Gonzalez, sure, we could talk about that. But outside of that, we're not doing business. Good morning, Jim. How you doing? Sign Bo Bichette, F the Dodgers. I say sign Bo Bichette, sign JT Realmuto, F the Dodgers, but I'm envious and jealous of the Dodgers. I wish my baseball team's owner, who said he's willing to spend stupid money, actually just spent the stupid money. Why not? We packed that stadium. And we're sitting here, maybe getting Bo Bichette, maybe getting JT Realmuto. Well, the Dodgers are buying a championship, and I don't care that they're buying a championship. I think what they're doing is fantastic. We discussed in length how absurd it is that some moronic fans are looking to fire Sirianni, such a Philly thing to do. Like, I was outdoor dashing yesterday, and I knew the press conference was coming up, so I turned on WIP to listen to the press conference. I guess it was delayed by a few minutes, so I got to hear some callers. And some of the thought process, some of the fans put out there, and the host, Hugh Douglas, out there on the Nick Sirianni and the Jalen Hurts hate is ridiculous. It really is, okay? The fact that that fans are so willing to move on from a championship era that is still a championship era so quickly is ludicrous. I hate when men buy a new pickup truck with a Hemi engine then drive like an old lady. Yeah. I told you about Sirianni, but you didn't believe me. Sirianni's fine at game planning, but in-game he's not capable. I told you about his clowning and speaking around. No, I mean, we all know he speaks in circles, right? But at some point, you've got to stand up as a coach and make a definitive statement, okay? You have to, all right? You have to make a definitive comment at some time. And yeah, he might not be able to call plays on Sunday, but he's a great offensive mind. The players listen to him. The players respect him. I remember when made a big deal about getting Jalen Ortiz in 2016, the top-rated international prospect. Kid is he still with the Phillies organization? I do remember him as well. So when you sign a 17-year-old kid, it doesn't always work out. I mean, the counter to your Ortiz, Nooms, would be Ranger signed at 16 years old for like $25K. Sounds like Howie knows AJ got to go. I think it really says Howie knows that AJ might want to go. Here, let me backtrack here for a second. Howie Roseman's only going to trade him, A, if he gets blown away, or AJ demands a trade, right? Howie knows that AJ is a financial puzzle box, that trading him can help this team long term, financially speaking, but hurt them on the field. Howie's always got the pulse on the now and the future. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to renegotiate AJ's contract to keep him here, stretch out his cap hits a little bit more, and then trade him. I don't know. I don't think Howie has said yes or no, but his answer is direct and to the point. Look, he's a great player. We love collecting great players. We like to be the Dodgers, collect great players within the confines of the salary cap. He's a great player. I'm pretty sure the answer he gave us yesterday was the same exact answer he gave us last year during the same presser when he was asked the same question. And that's fine. I want direct and to-the-point answers. That's what I want. Eagles will get a high second-round pick for AJ. I don't think they will. But is a high second, is the 35th or 37th pick in the draft, is that enough straight up to get rid of, as you say, a cancer and whatever? I say an elite football player that does create a little drama. Is getting the 35th pick in the draft worth weakening our offense for? I don't think it is. If all you're giving me is the 35th pick, it's a click. AJ's going nowhere unless you give me all the picks and not going anywhere unless he demands to go elsewhere. They go Matt Klentak entirely too much. He was his head, way out of his depth. What? AJ won't be on this team next year. Bag it. He might not be. I don't think you could say 100% or 0%. It's what will be his perceived value after the Super Bowl to other teams. What will other teams think of the drama? That's what it'll be. Because if they look at the drama and under offer, he ain't going anywhere. Guarantee it. The Dodgers are on that road again. Look, good for them. Good for the Dodgers. You know, honestly, I'm a Phillies fan first, always will be. I'm actually going to cheer as my second team is the Dodgers. If the Phillies can't win a World Series, I want to see the Dodgers win a World Series. Again, AJ will be on the team 100%. Again, you can't say 100% one way or the other yet. While you say it's ridiculous to fire Nick, I find it ridiculous that not one person can tell me what he does. That's ridiculous. I mean, he does help massively with the game planning, and it has succeeded, not this year. He leads. He sets the overall vision of the team. What is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company's job to do? Set the big picture and delegate to his team. That is what Nick Sirianni does. He sets the goals outside of the Super Bowl goal. He sets the tone, and he tells his underlings, go execute. And when you can't execute, I'm going to step in and help. Lucky he doesn't have to step in and help Vic Fangio, because that would be really interesting. Dodgers got a great player, but $60 million a year, wow. I mean, look, you guys all know, I was and am a huge Kyle Tucker fan. I wanted the Phillies to sign Kyle Tucker. I wanted the Phillies to trade for him 2 years ago. I wanted Kyle Tucker in our outfield for a long time, right? But $60 million? I know it's only a 4-year deal with a second year and a third year out. But my God, I thought he was going to get $400 million, $350, $400 million, but over like 8 to 10 years. I put his value max at $40 million a year. There is no way he's the second best baseball player in the game. And that's what $60 million a year means, that he's the second best player. That's ludicrous. Ridiculous. Majority of head coaches don't call plays. It's actually very true. People don't realize that. Fire Sirianni, how moronic over and over again. It is. It really is crazy, the amount of people. But you know what? When you got people like you, Douglas, shouting it from the rooftops, when you got people on the radio, see what happens. Vasak? I can't see those letters. I think it says VASOK. I really got to get some reading glasses here. When you got former Eagles players and you got national media people that you listen to saying that over and over again, fans are going to believe it, and they're going to formulate their opinions on what they hear over the radio. That's why you got to turn the radio down and turn YouTube channels like this up. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share if you haven't. Let's do a quick check-in on likes on this thing. That's what you're hearing on the radio all the time. We've got only 12 likes on this video, guys. You got to hit that like button for me, please. There's 20 people watching, 12 likes. Come on. Hit those buttons, guys. That's what they're going to believe. Liking someone is not necessarily respecting them. I think the Eagles players respect Nick Sirianni. I really, truly do. Ranger Suarez was. I said that. Yeah, international. I think they only signed him for like $25K, though, Rick. Big difference from your return on your investment on $25K to a $4 million investment. But, yeah, at least Renteri's got the bloodline, right? Hopefully the signing will open the floodgates. I truly believe, Al, that the Tucker signing will mean when we come back here live on Monday morning, there will be at least 2 or 3 more big baseball signings, whether it's the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Mets, whoever, okay? It is going to open the floodgates and fast. We're 3 weeks away from people heading down to Clearwater for the Phillies and wherever the other teams work out. It is going to open the floodgates. Teams are going to pat. Oh, well, we lost that. See, Bichette, I had it like 98% of Philly, right? With Tucker, with the Blue Jays and the Mets moving on from Tucker or losing out on Tucker, does that mean they're going to make a push for Bichette even harder now? Is it going to mean that the Phillies have to up their offer, which caused them to miss out on JT Realmuto? I don't know. But the floodgates are going to open up this weekend. Good morning, Soldier Steve. Hope you're well this morning, enjoying your Friday morning. If anybody wants Sirianni fired, you're clueless. I agree. We agree on some things. We agree on that, but we disagree on moving on from Jalen Hurts. How can you say and hype up Nick Sirianni so much, but be so against Jalen Hurts, Rick? You are the biggest, it's not a hypocrite's not the word. The biggest, I'm thinking of a word, opposite ends of the equation, opposite end of the spectrum. Your theories for keeping Nick Sirianni make sense to keep Jalen Hurts too. But yet you don't. I think he will demand a trade the way it all ended. That is possible, right? That is the only way it's for sure that he leaves town, right? Majority of coaches could call plays if they needed to. It's a terrible argument and a disrespect to the logo that is 100% responsible for the rings. Doug Peterson is unemployed, yeah? Like, you're not bringing Doug Peterson back, obviously. The only international prospects that work out for us are the ones Sal. I don't know who that is. So just so you know, I did my research over the last few days because I myself really wanted to know there's currently over 20 head coaches at this moment that isn't all of them just thought you'd like to know, that aren't calling plays. Okay. High second is not enough. They have to throw in a few drafts. Look, high second is not enough for A.J. Brown. You need a first. Well, high second would be a great return. Howie Roseman is saying no to a high second. A.J. was a second-round pick. If we get a high second, we traded the 18th pick, just so you know, for him. Okay? We gave up a first-round pick for him, okay? And, yeah, I mean, you say he's the sickness of the team. And while you might be right that he is the sickness of this team, he also is one of the most talented players on this team. A.J. Browns don't grow on trees, just so you know. I don't think A.J.'s drama will be a big factor in his value. Well, then you might get a first or a low second or a high second. You might. Over 20 head coaches that call their own plays. Sorry, so the other way. So 20 do, 12 don't. That's not that 12 that don't, that's pretty solid. He lotions his players what? Stop. McDaniel is who Howie wants after that presser. Marshawn, that might be correct. And there were more reports from big name like the Ian Rappaports of the world that said yesterday, Marshawn, that from their sources, Mike McDaniel is considering a great OC position over a shitty head coach position. And look, I don't like Mike McDaniel. I don't. He's a weasel. He's a clown. His personality is a train wreck. But he's obviously an offensive mind, has success as an OC. Will he succeed here? I don't know if he comes here. But what would be more attractive, being the Eagles offensive coordinator or being the Las Vegas Raiders coach? Eagles OC or the Tennessee Titans head coach? You've already got, everybody wants their first head coaching gig. But once you get that first head coaching gig, then you might want to wait for the second, right? Wait for the right second spot. Unless he's going to be the Ravens head coach or the Steelers head coach. Being the Eagles OC is the next best thing. Also, the Detroit Lions OC would be the next best thing as well. I think Howie Roseman loves swinging for the fences. He loves big, bold moves, right? Never been as shy from these kind of moves. McDaniel would be a Howie Roseman type swing for the fences move. Absolutely. Good for the Dodgers. They had a ton of near misses from 88 to 2019. and we're on the wrong end of the Astros scandal. Yeah, that's true. Tucker went for $240 million over 4 freaking years, Marshawn. $60 million a year for a damn good baseball player that is not the second best baseball player in the game per his paycheck. There are plenty of NFL franchises that care more about putting fans in seats and selling jerseys before actually winning. AJ will go to one of those. It's possible if they offer enough. If you call and lowball Howie Roseman for AJ Brown, he's going to laugh at you and hang up. Howie wants McDaniel so they can move away from Sirianni and give the team to McDaniel because they have had enough after Patullo BS. Is there a long-term plan to move off of Nick Sirianni? No. But there might be a long-term plan to have a backup plan. If they bring in McDaniel and the Eagles go on and win or get to the Super Bowl next year, they're not firing Nick Sirianni. If the Eagles miss out on the playoffs next year and they fire Sirianni, they'll probably fire Mike McDaniel. They're missing the playoffs probably because McDaniel's failed as an OC, as I think he could. I don't know. With a GM that values cap space and a contract that disallows any spreading out of those hits, how exactly does that happen again? I don't know. Back to this for a second. Howie Roseman also, back to this comment, and what was the other comment? This comment here, it's who Howie wants. Howie Roseman did specifically discuss yesterday how he doesn't care about the narrative of a new OC every year and how it's detrimental. And I agree. Jalen Hurts has had 12 offensive coordinators if you go back to high school, okay, over his last 13 years. It hasn't stopped him from being a successful quarterback in the NFL, in college football, in high school. It hasn't been detrimental to him. And Howie Roseman says it, look, we're not going to not hire our next offensive coordinator because we might lose him after one season. Because then we'll just that's a good thing. To mean we're successful that they get a promotion to a head coach spot. They don't have a problem with that. And I don't think we should either. Bring in McDaniel for 1 year, or win another Super Bowl. He gets his head coaching job of his choice next offseason, and we're back there. Maybe he brings somebody into his staff. A new passing game coordinator that we can promote, groom and promote. With a GM that values cap space and a contract that disallows any spreading out of these hits, how exactly does this happen again? I don't know. I don't know. But they've never been shy, Howie Roseman, of taking on dead cat money. That's all I say. It's been fun, great show, fun listen, but I got a honey to-do list I got to do today. See you next week. Rent-free Rick signing out. I have a feeling that Rick will pop back in at some point. You, Douglas, was a good player, but has some idiot thoughts on the radio. Like, that was the first 10 minutes of WIP I have listened to in arguably a decade. That wasn't because of sports, but it's just because they said 1:30. I turned it on at 1:30, and it turned out to be like 1:40 when they came to the podium. Be a 30 for 30 on Otani's contract one day. It is so fishy. Oh, absolutely. 1,000%. He'll be a 30 for 30 on that, on the Dodgers, on everything there. The Dodgers ruined baseball. There'll be a 30 for 30 that the Dodgers were the reason why baseball collapsed and never came back. These teams are going to hate having to pay that money during the looming lockout. Yeah. Sleepy Jalen, no lie. What? I heard an interesting thing. That Jalen Hurts might actually be underrated actually now. And I actually think it's an intriguing thought process that because so many people hate on Jalen Hurts so much that we could actually honestly consider calling him underrated with his track record. What's a paradox? I'm not sure what you're talking about. For the same reason we don't think Harbaugh will succeed is the exact reason Sirianni does succeed. Because of a great organization above him, right? You can't succeed at your job unless your boss gives you the tools, right? Nick Sirianni gets the tools. And he has succeeded. My homies call me Hannibal because I'm a mastermind. If you want to keep Hurts and Sirianni together, you have to trade AJ and build this team around defense and a strong running game. And I'm okay with that. Again, I don't want to say that I'm not for trading AJ Brown. I'm not for or against it. If it helps the team, fine. But honestly, unless the value is a wow shock trade, it doesn't help the team. That's where I stand. What's up, Mitchie Pooh? Good morning to you. I hope you are well this beautiful morning. It's going to be a cold weekend in the Delaware Valley. You didn't get the draft day quotes? No, I didn't. I've never watched draft day straight through. I've watched reels of it and clips of it, but that's it. No divided locker room, no AJ trade. Look, and I don't think the locker room, just like I don't think the locker room has a problem with Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni, I don't think the locker room as a whole has a problem with A.J. Brown either. It's a media fan-driven thing. McDaniel fits a rhythm passer like Goff better than Hurts. Kingsbury would be a better fit. See, the thing with Kingsbury to me, K1, is we get frustrated with the shotgun formations, right? And that's all Kingsbury does. I do think McDaniel would fit Goff with a Gibbs type and a St. Brown type a little bit better. I do. I don't think you're wrong there, K1, at all. Still plotting for Sirianni's exit. They all are. You bring McDaniel in here, I'm instantly worried about Jalen because all I know is McDaniel's scheme gives you concussions as a quarterback. I don't know if McDaniel's scheme gave Tua all those concussions or Tua being a nitwit idiot and not sliding occasionally, right? Tua not protecting his body. Jackson Dart's got to look at Tua and Jalen and be like, all right, I got to go the Jalen Hurts way, not the Tua way. It is good enough for me. What? We need a new prince. I don't even know who that is. They're not going to let the price of success get in the way of their success. Who knew? Exactly. Howie Roseman is going to make decisions that are best for this team. Okay? Short term and long term. The Eagles should move from players with a ton of drop balls, a ton of missed kicks, a ton of blown coverages, a ton of penalties. I think I know each one of those things, what player you're talking about there. McDaniel is an offensive savant, but he looks like an autistic Napoleon Dynamite. No comment on that comment, okay? I don't think I'll clip that one out. We need a quarterback 1, too. Yeah, see, we don't need that. Wow. No. Jalen is underrated for a running back. Stop. Rick's logic on Hurts versus Sirianni removal is paradoxical. Yeah, it's like, look, is that what the paradox was about? I'm behind on comments. I'm trying to catch up. Being so adamant that we got to keep Nick Sirianni for all the success this Eagles team has had, but wanting to move on from Jalen Hurts despite all the success he's had with the Eagles. It really makes no sense. I would assume his boy Todd Monken will follow him, John Harbaugh. So most likely the Eagles will not have a chance at Todd Monken, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I like Todd Monken. He's on my top of my list, but I figured if John Harbaugh got a head coaching job, he would probably bring the guy that he got fired for not wanting to fire with him. Tua is not a rhythm passer either. Bring in Neon Dion. No. I'd rather bring in his assistant, Byron Leftwich, than Dion. You Douglas annoys me. I would challenge him to a fist. You love challenging people to fist fights, don't you? You need to join a boxing gym, mister, and just go hit the bag every day. Get some of that ruthless aggression out of you every day. The first 2 words of that sentence is an oxymoron. Bank it. The first 2 words of Duck's sentence, that is. Okay, hold on. Tua isn't a rhythm passer. Or Rick's logic. Yeah. Rick's logic is the one you're talking about. Yeah, it is an oxymoron. I would prefer a stoic and mindful leader instead of a court jester who amuses his master more than doing his job. See, I kind of feel like that he's a stoic leader in the state. He's not a court jester. He's not stoic. He manages or leads based off of feel. If the moment calls for emotion, he brings it. If the moment calls for a private meeting, he does it. I think Nick Sirianni is very good at he might not be good at adjusting in-game play calling. But he's very good, Nick Sirianni, at adjusting his in-game leadership style. Day to day, minute by minute. And I think that's different people need to be led different ways. Different people need to be coached different ways. Different players need to be managed different ways. And he knows that, and he figures that out. It's a little bit of both, but yeah, Tua didn't help. Yeah, exactly. Tua didn't help. Tua should have just stopped anyway. And once you get one, the next one happens, and the next one happens. It's a domino effect. Tua is purely a hit the back foot and throw quarterback. When the play isn't there, he gets in trouble. Yeah, Tua is an average quarterback. Can you imagine Josh Allen or Matthew Stafford on the Eagles? No, we can't. I wouldn't want to. Well, Matthew Stafford's won, but Josh Allen hasn't won shit yet, just so you know. Howie always has a backup. He did when he hired Doug and Schwartz at the same time. They take risks, but have a backup. What do you think Fangio is, and that's why the new OC can be a head coach candidate? Yeah. Howie's always got. Howie is, we always joke, Howie always playing checkers, or chess, not checkers. He is. Howie doesn't even play chess. Howie plays like, what was that, was it like 3D or 4D chess that Sheldon had on the Big Bang Theory? Like, that's Howie. He's playing next level chess, always. Doug's and Nick's story isn't really different. Nick is more of a company man after winning his Super Bowl. That's pretty much it. He understands his place. Was he already hired? I didn't even see that. I heard rumors that he was going to go with Harbaugh to the Giants, but I did not see that. Well, there you go. So just cross him off my list. That puts Brian Daboll as number 1 on my list. Take Monken away with money of our own. Well, it looks like, according to K1, he already signed. I didn't see that, but maybe. Prince in the Republic, I don't know. No. Never read that. Was never really. I don't think I've ever read The Art of War either. Okay, I haven't read any of those books, honestly. For a guy that went to private school, I didn't read any of those intellectual books. Todd is already on the Giants. It was taken care of yesterday. I missed that. That's my bad. I was saying he was going to. If he already signed, good. I mean, not surprised, I should say. Right? Not surprised at all that he's already signed there. Some just live for the fisticuffs. Yeah, it's true. Adjust is his stroke. What? If you want the Eagles to be a high-powered offense, you hire Cliff Kingsbury. His spread offense simplifies his defenses for his quarterback. Yeah, look. All year long, we wanted Jalen Hurts under center more, right? More play action under center. More fullback usage with this running offense. Yet we want Cliff Kingsbury, who's going to spread it out even more. Is that what we want? I don't know. 3D chess from Star Trek. Okay. No, don't call me that. It's called Tridimensional Chess on Star Trek. Okay, so I thought it was just something from the Big Bang Theory. I'm not a Trekkie. I don't know much about Star Trek. All I know is this. That's it. Not if he hasn't read the required text. What? Wouldn't it be funny if we hired Daboll and won the Super Bowl next year, another New York Giants cast-off? You know, that's an interesting little nugget to pull on. I love those kind of nuggets. First, Saquon leaves, comes here, wins the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones leaves, goes on and has a career resurgence before an injury. Then Daboll leaves and comes to Philly and wins the Super Bowl. That would be something interesting right there, right? And again, look, I still think Brian Daboll, out of the choices, is the smartest big-picture choice. I think he'll come in here, he'll work with Nick Sirianni, but have full control over the play calling. He's worked with Jalen Hurts. He'll understand Jalen Hurts' strengths. Plus, he's seen Jalen Hurts 2 times a year for how many years now, so he understands his weaknesses as well as an opposing coach, so he can be like, yo, Jalen, this is what we've been doing against you. This is what we saw in New York, right? They're my top. He's my top choice. Greg Roman, I still want Greg Roman. I still like that idea. Nate Skillhouse, I'm intrigued by. People yesterday were talking about Charlie Weiss Jr. He's going to be the LSU head coach or offensive coordinator this year. And he said multiple times he doesn't want to coach in the NFL. But he's an interesting name. He was with Alabama and Jalen Hurts back in the day. He's had the second highest passing offense in college, the third highest rushing in college. His teams don't commit turnovers. Supposedly super intelligent guy. Charlie Weiss Jr. is one of those outside-the-box thinking names that Howie will either swing for the fences with a Mike McDaniel, or maybe he shocks the world and gets somebody like a Charlie Weiss. Or it'll be Brian Daboll. Content check. What's up? What's going on? How you doing? Phil's more of a Clausewitz man. I'm not very intellectual, obviously. Bring in dabble. I don't live for fisticuffs. I'm just a having a mini midlife crisis. Is that what it is? Well, to get over your midlife crisis, join a gym that's got a punching bag, get some gloves, or get a punching bag for your basement hanging over the rafters in the unfinished portion of your basement, and just go to town. I've thought of doing that, honestly, mister. Just getting a bag to hit. It's good exercise. Plus, it helps you get out a lot of frustrations and pent-up energy. When I was a kid, we used to do kendo sticks. A friend of mine had a whole, I don't know where he was getting kendo sticks from, but we would take like a half a dozen kendo sticks into the woods and just smash them on tree trunks to let out our aggression after a long day cooking in a kitchen. It makes sense, more of a doer than a thinker. Yeah. 21. Yeah, we're still sitting at 979. Woke up to 979. Means we haven't gained any new ones today, Mitch. It means out of the 22 people watching right now live on YouTube, all 22 must be subscribed, right? If not, they would hit the subscribe button right now. And like, because we're not at 22 likes either. I honestly just wanted to say fisticuffs and couldn't find a better sentence. Gotcha. You're cold. It's going to be a cold one. If it's cold here in Philly this weekend, you can only imagine Buffalo. Football is baseball by other means. Phil Von Clausewitz. Yeah, okay. Cool. It's 51 minutes. This week, I've been between 40 and 60 minutes when I caught up on comments. But here we are, caught up on comments. We're talking Eagles press conference. We're talking what the next OC will be and Nick Sirianni's role in it. We're talking about A.J. Brown. Will he be traded or not? We're talking Phillies and baseball and how I am envious of the Dodgers' massive spending spree. I am. I want the Phillies to spend like that. Our poll question, will the Kyle Tucker signing open the floodgates? And the question is, will the Phillies lift our spirits and sign Bichette this weekend? Yes. 33%. No. 43%. Yes. And they will sign JT also. 24%. That's where the poll question is. That's where we're at. That's what we're talking. Phillies, Eagles, maybe a little Sixers and a little Flyers. A smidgen of Sony Open. Nick Taylor trying to defend his title. Set up modern methods of war based on the fog of war concepts. Use these concepts. Cool. I should know that, but I don't. We should draft a tight end. Yes, we will draft a tight end. No doubt it, Mitchie Poo. The Eagles might draft two. The problem isn't will we draft a tight end. The problem is will we draft a tight end in the mid to like third, fourth, fifth round and try to re-sign Dallas Goedert, or will we draft a tight end in the first or second round and then another one in the fifth or sixth round and have two rookie tight ends. I think a second and a sixth round kind of scenario, so we don't have to sign Dallas Goedert, is in play. But I don't know how you let Dallas Goedert go with the season he had. I don't know how you afford him with the season he had. It's which way do you go, Mitch? Do you draft a top-end tight end and let Dallas Goedert go, or you draft a middle-end one and either sign Dallas Goedert or somebody else to be your tight end one? It sucks not being invested at all into this weekend's playoff games. We're going to, in about a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I got all my predictions written down here for this weekend's game. We are going to do predictions on all four football games. I don't know, about 10 minutes from now. I'll give you my thoughts and predictions on each one. But yeah, Steve, it sucks not being able to feel any vibe towards any of these games. College football championship, Indiana. I can lock that in. Indiana is winning. I don't care. Sixers playing well, but hit a wall right now, just like the Flyers on losing streaks. Look, good for you. SH Kim, -7. We got a couple of them right yesterday. I know you didn't get your Tagala point right, though. Next week, we will discuss Alfred von yeah, we are not. We are not discussing war strategies, all right? This is not an intellectual show. Do you see, K1, some of the commenters that comment on this show over the years? This is not an intellectual-minded show, okay? We are not a bunch of smart people, right? We don't talk that kind of stuff. They're calling for snow in Chicago. I'm going Bears, if not Rams. I saw clear. I saw cold, but clear, okay? It's going to be a high-scoring affair, in my opinion, in Chicago. You also said the Eagles were going to bury the Niners. I'm picking Miami. Look, I did. I did say the Eagles were going to bury the 49ers. I was wrong. You ain't going to get... I'll admit when I'm wrong. I do it all the time. I'm not an intellectual genius if you haven't realized that. I'm just a sports fan that's growing a platform to give you and me a place to voice our opinions. I don't know anything. I'm just a fan that wings it. And I was wrong on the Eagles. And that was not me picking the Eagles as a homer. I really, truly believe the X's and O's lied in the Eagles' favor massively. And I honestly think, minus the 4 drops and the awful play call to end the game, I still think the Eagles should have won that game and handily. And it's on the players dropping passes, and it's on bad play calling. And we got effed. And Quinton Mitchell had his worst game of his career, despite being his best game of his career. Just trying to push you to 1,000 subs, buddy. Okay, so intellectual talk will get me to 1,000 subscribers. I highly doubt that's what the Philly sports fans want to hear. Speaking of wars, you ever play Stratego? No, I have not played Stratego. I know what it is, but I never have. You want intellectual conversation, you need to go to Rick's bar. No, I don't think so. Definitely not intellectual with some of the Hurts takes and the Sirianni takes. Man, look, we're just moving on. Look, I don't deny when I'm wrong. I've been wrong a lot. I'm the one that, like, one of the biggest tweets I ever had that I still get people pulling out every so often is when I said the Eagles shouldn't have signed Saquon Barkley in the offseason before 24. I didn't want them to sign him. Thought that money could have been used elsewhere. I admit my mistakes. I know I'm wrong more often than I'm right. Stratego's fun. It's chess with an element of luck. The game is at Hard Rock. It's a home game for Miami. Could be the advantage they need to beat Indiana. I've watched no college football until the Big Ten championship. I watched the Big Ten championship and instantly picked Indiana to win it. So I'm riding or dying with them. I'm just going to go that way because that just seems like the way I should go. Hurts didn't want to run, but rather go to yacht. I don't know about that. The strategy was based on the need to win on the Western Front. Whatever. What's up, Bruce? Bring me back to sports talk. Yes. Going into the 2020 season, when I first started as a podcaster, okay, I used to going into 2020, I had Wentz ranked as the number 4 quarterback in the NFL. And after every tweet, whether it's Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, the art of war, I hashtagged every time, #Wentz is elite. Dude, I was wrong on Carson Wentz. I might be wrong on Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts too. Who knows? But I ain't afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to form an opinion and stand by it. And I'm not afraid to form an opinion and let you change my opinion. I feel it's unfair that the Dodgers can spend so much money. Well, Bruce, what's fair and what's legal are two totally different things. What's fair and what's allowed by the rules is two different things, right? And it's legal. And in the rule book that the Dodgers can spend this much money. And I am envious of them. Okay, Bruce? I'm jealous of them. As a Phillies fan, we should wish our owners that they're already spending so much money. Spend a little bit more. And yes, it will backfire. And a lockout will become of this, right? It's going to happen. But you know what? While it's allowed, good for the Dodgers. Going for back-to-back-to-back. Going for the three-peat. Good for them. So I don't think it's I think unfair is the wrong word. It sucks. That's the word. If I wanted this World War stuff, I'd tune in. Yeah, I'd be tuning into Peanuts channel, Pixelated History, which is linked below. All right? Check out my man Peanuts YouTube channel down below. He posts so many short videos on things in history. Subscribe to that for your history talk. This is the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be in Philadelphia. Okay? Wentz could have been elite, but he was too much of a head case. He was. And he started to get injury prone as well. And happy feet. You're not wrong about Sirianni. A lot of people are, though. Look, I might be, you might be, who knows, right? We can't predict the future unless you found a time machine. Or you got some fan particles that can travel through the quantum realm. You can't predict the future. But we can formulate opinions based over the data in front of us. And the best type of sports fan is the sports fan, like me, that when they form a bad opinion, that we're wrong. Admitting you're wrong when instead of arguing or doubling down or tripling down is what makes me respect you when you put an opinion out there. That's why there will be a MLB lockout and a cap put in place. Look, if the lockout if they try to put a cap in place, and I know they're going to try to put a cap in place, right? The baseball lockout will be long, okay? Because the players are going to fight that tooth and nail. History Channel is basically aliens and really bullshit. Absolutely. Reruns of Pawn Stars. I should say that I feel they should change the rules to make the cap. Yes, and they're going to try to make the cap. And they're going to try to push for it. And they might get some weird, wonky version of it. But there is no cap right now. So you know what? I want my team to do whatever it takes to win. So spend that money. Go get Bichette. Go get JT Realmuto. Go get them all. Go get Bichette, Cody Bellinger, and JT. Say, all right, Dodgers, hold my beer for a second. They have the stupid money. John Middleton can spend stupid money. An owner should spend as much as he wants, no restrictions. That's fair. It takes away the competitive advantage. That's the argument on the flip side of that. But I get it. If there is no cap, I want my owners to spend. But see, the thing is, the Phillies owner says he'll spend stupid money, but yet is right now spending $102 million less than the Dodgers. Wentz could never have been elite because of his inability to adapt and correct in the long run. I don't know. If he doesn't get happy feet, does he learn to adapt? If he doesn't get that concussion, does he learn to adapt? I don't know. I think the ACL slowed him down, and the concussion definitely scared him. And he was already a head case, but maybe he adapts a little bit. But obviously I was wrong. He wasn't elite. We're all wrong more often than we're right in life, just so you know. We are flawed humans. I have to act like I'm smart at work all day. This show I could be my natural dumbass self. Don't spoil. Oh, I'm not spoiling it for you. You be your dumbass self. I am your theoretic punching bag. You can punch me all you want. Dodgers are a modern murderer's row. They're going for the Yankees record. In the words of Booker T, we coming for you, sucker. They don't want to be a three-peat. The Dodgers are trying to be the five-time defending World Series champions. I think that was my Booker T quote for you. Had a laugh. WGR was saying good quarterback play is not why we have lost. He said, look at Jalen Hurts. He was terribly, but the Eagles were won. Who? What? Who's WGR? Makes us feel. I try my best to dumb myself down to make you feel more intelligent. That is no doubt about it. We'll all be wrong at several points in our lives, more often than not, actually. Imagine if the didn't have a cap. Imagine if the who didn't have a cap. The NFL? Yeah, I mean, if the NFL didn't have a cap, the Eagles would buy their championship. He did spend stupid money. He signed Nola. That was dumb. That wasn't stupid money. That was a dumb decision, okay? Dumb decisions are different, right? I think this is an interesting question. Adam did mean the NFL. It's an interesting question. If there's no salary cap in the NFL, who would be the Dodgers version of it? Who would be the team that overspends, right? Would it be Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles? You damn well know Jerry Jones would try to be like the Dodgers and sign everybody. Who would be the top 2 or 3 payrolls in football if there was no salary cap? I think it's a very interesting question right there. Dodgers have a long, long way to go. I mean, yeah, because the season's so long, and then they'll be there. Oh, okay. I don't know sports talk radio letters in Buffalo. What do you think I am? Dallas would be the overspender. Dallas would definitely be on the overspending market. I agree. I think the Eagles would be in on it, too. Kind of think like the Patriots would be, too. What's the market for JT if he doesn't sign with the Phillies? I don't know. I have no idea. Supposedly it's 3 years, not 2 years that the Phillies have on the table for JT. Maybe it's the money that they haven't. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm going in there right now and being like, yo, let's just get this done. Let's figure it out, and then go get Bichette. That's what I'm doing. Owning a sports franchise is a license to print money. Billionaires even get the poor's to pay for their stadiums. Exactly. Exactly. There should be a cap on how much fans freaking spend. Screw them, let them. Dude, that's why I've cut back on my sports spending. Okay? I have. Before the cap, it was the Niners, Cowboys, and Redskins. Gotcha. WIP is Philly. Yes, I know WIP is Philly. I know who Philly is. You tune into a Philly show. I don't tune into Buffalo shows to know that stuff. Would Las Vegas overspend? I thought you said live for a second. They might be overspending on Bryson. I don't know. Maybe they got to be making a lot of money being in Vegas there, you would think. I feel Howie knows the best what is good for the Eagles. So if Nick is our coach, I feel he is the best coach and we can get for our players. I agree. I trust Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. I trust Nick Sirianni coaching Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. I trust Howie Roseman keeping Nick Sirianni in place, just like I can't trust Jeffrey Lurie to keep Howie Roseman in his place. I trust the decisions of the Eagles organization because for the better part of the last decade, they've all worked out. All of them. Who would have thought firing Doug Peterson was the right decision? Well, it worked out. Who would have thought hiring Nick Sirianni was the right decision? Well, it worked out. Let's trust what this great organization does. I feel the team would spend the most as the Rams and Dallas and Patriots. The Rams, maybe. I don't know. Just because Tony Khan's dad's a billionaire that gives his son a lot of money, I don't know if he's necessarily just because an owner's a multi-billionaire and spends doesn't mean they'll spend on their team. I don't know. I'd have to think about the Jags. What I think. I trust Phil to keep the Phil Illuminati in his place. I will do my best to keep dumbing myself down so you guys feel smarter. Okay, K1, why does Phil hate Master P? That's a random topic. All these owners are multi-billionaires. They should be an issue for anyone, just like war. Spend. Spend, spend, spend. That's what I want. I think it's really interesting from Adam there. Who would be the biggest spenders? The Jags. I'm still thinking about the Jags, Big Al's comment right there. I am, maybe. I don't know his background, totally. Anyway, he spent a lot of money giving his son a wrestling organization, so there's that theory right there. I don't know who would be the biggest spenders in the NFL. What? The Cowboys would probably be the top of the list. But outside of that, I don't know if the Cowboys would go Dodgers level, but maybe they would. Then you got the Mets, Toronto, Philly, the Yankees, the top other big spenders. Dallas, well, at least they were back before the cap. Yeah, I guess Jerry Jones would be the top spender. All right, so who would be the second top then? How do I feel about the UFL? What is the new helmets? So you got to put it all in one sentence, okay? I don't know what the new helmets are. I didn't know they have new helmets. And I don't care about the UFL one iota. Maybe the Browns to finally get a Super Bowl, they spend stupid money on Watson. That's true, Big Al. They're willing to spend big money on Deshaun Watson. Maybe. Going to stick with the Raiders. It's interesting. I'll cut that out as a short. I'm going to put this up there. Maybe I'll do a poll question as well on it. And see what happens. That's right. Long live Jerry Jones. As long as Jerry Jones is around, the Cowboys will stink. As long as Jerry Jones is around and there's no salary cap, long live Jerry Jones, right? Is that the way to go for it? Is that the way to think about it? I'd feel better about the UFL if they brought the Stars back this year. They were supposed to expand, but I guess that died on the vine. Look, I know people crave football. I know people love football. I know that the UFL has improved, okay? And I know Josh Allen's wasted career count, loves him some UFL football like some people do. I watched 3 minutes of UFO football last year, and maybe I picked a bad game, but it was the ugliest 3 minutes of football I've ever watched. And I watched Rich Kotite, okay? I watched Kevin Patullo, all right? It was terrible. I turned it off, and I've never turned it back on, and I probably never will turn it back on, unless somehow I got a job that I'm forced to. Browns have no money. That's why they are the organization that they are. The Bengals, too. They are both known to be cheap organizations. Yeah, I mean, not cheap on Deshaun Watson, but otherwise. There will be Jerry Jones. Oh, and AI. Yeah, Jerry Jones is going to be the first person. What was that movie that Johnny Depp did where he had his subconscious transferred into a computer? All right? That's going to be AI. That's going to be Jerry Jones at some point, right? The Broncos have the Walmart money now. Okay. Detroit's got Ford money. I don't know. Is Ford rich anymore? I don't know. Love the XFL. It was cool, but I want to watch elite football. I don't want to watch knockoff football. Okay. I might buy some of my clothes on Temu, but I'm not watching. I don't prefer Temu over shopping somewhere nicer. Your page should be a lot bigger. I wish it was. I hope you like and subscribe and share and tell your friends about it. I mean, honestly, this channel has been around a long time, but it wasn't I didn't start posting on this channel. I had this account to comment on other people's shows. This channel didn't start till about October of last year. Well, no, October 2024. So it's just over a year. We're like 14 months on this channel. About 4 years of doing this show, but about 14 months on this channel. All right, so I'm trying. We were growing so fast, and we hit a wall once I got to about 850, 860 on the subscriber number. Tell one, tell all. The cap is kind of a good thing. Can you imagine what LA Dodgers tickets are going to be? They may rate the... Look, I don't think LA people care about what the ticket prices are. Let's be honest. You know what's funny? The Dodgers spend the most. The Dodgers win the most recently. But yet the Dodgers... Do they have a real fan base? Do they have a hardcore, passionate fan base like the Phillies do? Like the Yankees do? I don't know. But the people in L.A., they spend their money. They're $50 You think it's expensive to buy food and drink at the stadium in Philly? Do you know what it's like in L.A. to spend money at a Dodger stadium? My God. More than our mortgages. Where does Jonathan Gannon go? He's interviewed with a bunch of teams in the NFC East. I would love him to go to Dallas. That would be a total Jerry Jones move. I'm not sure. If he doesn't get a DC job, Mitchie Poo, I would not be shocked if he's Christian Parker's replacement on the Eagles' defensive staff. I'm going to say that. Hornets crushed Lakers. Cool. I like going to sporting events without having to have a Klama membership. If the Stars came to town, I can't imagine they charge a firstborn child to see them. Going to it's different. I get that, okay? It's an event, an outing and stuff. Jerry Jones is more like Lawnmower Man. Oh, that's good. I haven't thought of Lawnmower Man. He Hate Me was big time. He Hate Me. We're going way back in the original XFL, early days. AI Jerry Jones would be like Zordon, the Power Rangers. Zordon was a good guy, though. Jerry Jones is not a good guy. Phil to get like 10 more people so he could get paid. It's 21 more people. I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I'm pushing. Phil's so close. I mean, I could call him right now. I'm not. Okay? You guys are hilarious. I love it. I love it. I do this for you guys. That's why I try. Sometimes I call this. This is not just the STT Sports Network saying the trends for what sports talk should be in Philadelphia. This is the People's Morning Show. I don't do this morning show for my own good. I don't do this to make money. Well, I mean, I'd like to, but I do this for you. I set the opening topic, and we talk whatever you want to. I mean, really, today's topic was set at what did Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni really say? I got a page of notes on what they said. How much of that have we really talked about? I go where the people want me to go, except for talking about the art of war because, you know, I'm not intelligent enough like that, okay? That's what this morning show's about. You want to talk Bo Bichette? Cool. You want to talk XFL? Cool. I mean, to an extent, I'm better than the people's champ, okay? I didn't sell out to Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood didn't come calling, but I didn't sell out for you people. All right, it is. Let's change the topic for a little bit here, though, okay? Because it is NFC Divisional Round Weekend. NFL Divisional Round Weekend, there are 4 huge matchups this weekend. I want to give you my thoughts and predictions on all games, okay? So let's get started on NFL Division Round picks and stuff like that. And let's start with the Saturday first game, 4:30. Buffalo Bills travel to the Mile City, Denver, to take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 1.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 45.5. I am going to go. I wrote it down, but I want to change it. I crossed it off, then I rewrote it down. I'm going Broncos win over the Bills. Sorry. Wasted career. Broncos win 27-23 in that game. Josh Allen's wasted career is over. Sean McDermott gets fired. Another head coaching opening opens on Monday. Broncos win that game. More on the defense than Bo Nix. We got Adam says Broncos, agrees with me. Mitch said Buffalo. I had Broncos. Right before I said it, I tried to make it Bills. I'm like, nah, got to stick to my guns on this one. Hopefully the Broncos end Josh Allen's story this year. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they do. Next game on the slate, 8 p.m. on Saturday night, the San Francisco 49ers head to their division rival, Seattle, to play the Seahawks. Seattle is a 7-point favorite. Over-under is 44.5. Now, there's rumors that Sam Darnold might not play. He popped up with an oblique or rib injury this week. If Sam Darnold plays, I've got Seattle winning the game 28-17. If there is no Darnold, there is a chance that the 49ers are going to win this game and are going to win 21-17. Drew Lock is their backup quarterback. So, Drew Lock, man, that would be bad. So, if Darnold plays, Seattle wins. It's too soon for me to know if he's going to play. 28-17. If he doesn't play, 49ers 21-17. Seattle, Mitchie Poos agrees. Yeah, depends on Darnold, though. Hope McDermott doesn't get fired because I could see Dable being, that would be an interesting point right there on my Dable want right there, the Drew Lock Bowl. Seattle wins. It's going to rely on Sam Darnold playing. All right, Sunday's game, 3 p.m. The Houston Texans travel to New England to take on the Patriots and Drake May. Patriots are 3-point favorites. Over-under is 40.5. And yes, I'm going with the shocker that Houston Texans defense ends the Patriots' little jump this year, 24-21, because I'm going to stick to my guns. That defense is going to win in this playoffs. And the Texans defense is the best defense. So I got the Texans 24-21. Yeah, they still have JSN, but Drew Lock throwing to him doesn't help. We got a Patriots prediction. We got a Texans prediction. We do got a 49ers prediction. Texans defense may win the Super Bowl, just so you know. I may be leaning towards the Texans, because based off of my predictions, it's Texans-Broncos next week. Defense versus defense. K1 going Patriots. All right, final game for Dakota, 6 p.m. Sunday. Rams travel to Chicago to take on the Cardiac Bears, right? Rams are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 48.5. It's going to be cold in Chicago. We know that. I'm just going to say, before I even give you my prediction on the Bears-Rams, Mitchie Pooh saying Rams, Adam is saying Bears. Josh Allen's wasted career says Rams. Yes, he's probably Stafford's probably the MVP. The first thing I'm going to tell you right now is smash the over 48.5. This is going to exceed 55.5 points in this game. This might exceed 60 points total scored in this game. And I am going to go with, as Duck calls it, the Pope's chosen one. Going to the NFC Championship game. I got the Bears ending the Rams season 35-31. So my championship round predictions are Broncos hosting the Texans and Seattle, if Darnold plays, hosting the Bears. Lock it in. All right? Lock it in. 35-31, Bears win. and then their luck runs out next week. And Seattle in the Super Bowl, really? Am I really going to predict the Sam Darnold Super Bowl? Holy shit. Crazy. This is not how I saw it playing out. That's why they're going to give up 31. That's just why it's going to be 31. Look, I'm feeling frisky with my predictions today. I am. I'm feeling frisky. Dude, I'm so glad I don't own a pizza shop anymore, because when the Eagles aren't in the Super Bowl, matchups dictate whether the sales are going to be good. Like, they're always going to be good on the Super Bowl, but they'll always be better when certain teams play. A Texans-Seahawks Super Bowl would have been and would be brutal for Philadelphia pizza shops this year. Brutal, okay? I didn't even pick up on that joke at first. Kind of feel like the Niners are going to be playing at home in the Super Bowl. That's interesting. Maybe. Again, if Darnold doesn't play, the Niners win that game. And then it's Niners-Bears in the Super Bowl in Chicago. Yeah, maybe. That would be a tough one. I don't know if I can predict the Bears going to the Super Bowl, but that would be interesting. Very interesting. They're my predictions. I'm sure I'll be on here admitting I'm wrong again on at least 2 or 3 of them, maybe all 4 of them. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's just where my vibe is feeling right now on these games. All right, we're up to 19 likes on this video, guys. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't. WIP does stick. It does. There are some good people that work on nights and on weekends and off shifts for them, but their main guys suck. What do you want to talk about the Sixers? How do they rebound? How do they get their shooting stroke back? I think I either commented on your show or Sean Bernard's show yesterday about the shots not falling for Maxey and company, and that are they just maybe getting a little tired with the minutes? And maybe being able to be blown out was a good thing because it gave Maxey and Edgecombe a few less minutes on their feet on Wednesday. If the Niners make it to the Super Bowl, how many of their injured players could they get back? Fred Warner might be back by next week, honestly. Okay, they opened his practice window up, so he could be back even next week, technically. Texans. Look, I think I love the Texans defense. I saw something stupid the other day on Twitter. As always, these sports books, they always put clickbait shit out there. MGM Sportsbook put out a picture, a graphic, with the best coach in each division in football. And I got triggered because I had John Harbaugh already the best in the NFC East, which obviously Nick Sirianni is. But they also put Cohen, the Jaguars, as the best coach in the AFC South. I was like, what the F? That's so disrespectful for DeMeco Ryan and the job he's done with that Texans team over the last 3 years and how great that defense is. The Texans are a damn good football team. Well, I thought they were going to get to the Super Bowl last year. This year might be the year. Maybe I was just 1 year too soon. It's so hard to predict games anymore, obviously. The parity in the NFL this year is why we're in this spot that we're in, but also how much integrity is in the game. We just saw, I didn't even want to get into it, but there was another gambling scandal involving Chinese basketball and college basketball. Like 30 people arrested for fixing basketball games. It's hard to predict. Rams. I think out of all my predictions, Broncos, Seattle, Texans, Bears, I think the Bears-Rams game is the most likely one that I got wrong. Go Bills, son. Look, I'll be rooting for the Bills for you on Saturday. I will. I will root for them. I just don't know if they do it. Who do they have for the AFC West, Reed or Peyton? I believe they had Andy Reid. I would have to pull it up. It was BetMGM's his Twitter page. I think it was Andy Reid. Houston is greater than Dallas for more reasons than just football. Probably true. That's what I'm saying. It's the integrity of the game, man. Integrity of the game. I've lost it. That's why when I bet, it's $2 here, $3 there. I might put one parlay with all 4 of these predictions. If I do, it'd be like $2. Outside of golf, I don't gamble anymore. Except for pennies. Thank you. You streaming an NFL playoff game this weekend? I don't know. We'll see what we're doing. It's supposed to be bad weather tomorrow. So I'm sure I won't be out and about tomorrow. I was thinking of doing like going live towards the end of the Bills game. Like at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and going from the end of one game into the beginning of the next game and just doing a general show, football show. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I haven't decided, but I got to go live this weekend for something. When you see early 90s Eagles clips, how does it make you feel? Makes me feel like I need my extra bag of Tums. Dallas is more metropolitan city than Houston. Houston's food exceptional. Only place I've ever been to Texas is Dallas, and it was only flying through their airport. But that's it. That's all I've ever done. I had a 6-hour layover in the Dallas airport, and that is it. I'm feeling Niners, Bills in the Super Bowl. That'd be an interesting Super Bowl. Phil stream, not Bills game, but some game. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of going live late in the Bills game to the beginning of the late game, something like that. Maybe I'll do that on Sunday too. Go live at like 4:35 till about 7, something like that. Yay! The script writers for this year must have been new writers with how much parody there is. Yeah, exactly. They were not good at all in the 90s. I mean, they were good. They just never got the job done. I was in Dallas Airport, too. It was interesting. I had like 30 minutes to an hour layover, and my plane ride got delayed by like 6 hours. I was decked out, head to toe in Eagles gear just for shits and giggles. And, man, I sat at that Dallas bar drinking for hours because it wasn't like a 6-hour delay. It was a 1-hour delay. Then another hour, and then another hour. So I just kept drinking. Wearing my my Philadelphia Eagles gear in a Dallas bar. It was real pleasant. When we say how bad we are Philly fans are treat people, man, let me tell you something. Way different, okay, in other cities. Anyway, where are we at here? Got a couple minutes left. Probably wrap this up soon. Nick Taylor going off. Man, I didn't predict him going back-to-back. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't think Nick Taylor was going to go back-to-back. And he might not. Obviously, there was an unexpected wave advantage in the Sony Open yesterday. All right? Did not see there being such a drastic wave advantage, AM, PM, Sony Open. I think the PM guys today will go off early, and yesterday's PM guys go off early today, catch up. We'll see if there's that advantage or not for Nick Taylor today. 91 team would have gone deep if Randall hadn't gotten hurt in game 1. I mean, he threw, 4 I think it was 1 for 4 in that game. Or was 4 plays into the game? I don't remember. I really do think the 91 team could have had a chance. But God damn you, Bryce Pop ruined that, right? Shocked to see how well Griffin played. I was too. I expect, let's be honest, it's still the Sony Open. Some people are knocking off rust. Let's not say after one round they're continuing strong play. Poll numbers at this point, we only had 25 votes on the poll today. Yes, Bichette will sign this weekend. 44%. No, he will not sign this weekend with the Phillies. 36%. Yes. And they will sign JT Realmuto this weekend. 20%. That's where we're at with that. The Texans defense is number 1, but you don't know the offense you're going to get. That's true. And that's fair. But defense wins championships. Plain and simple. Always been the case. Always will be the case in my book. And I am okay with that, okay? Okay with defense winning a championship. In fact, I'll sit here live streaming the Super Bowl with y'all and be hyped to watch a great defensive Super Bowl. Texans Seattle, for an old school soul like me, would be an awesome Super Bowl. I really think it would be. I love smash mouth defense. I do. Low scoring games don't bother me in sports. They don't. I don't know. It's been a great week of shows. We hit a little wall the last 2 days. For the first 3 days this week, we boomed on subscribers. We started this week at like 965. We're at 979 right now. So we've had growth this week. We've had great shows. We found new listeners. We've had positive vibes. That's right. And I called him out. I shouted his name out on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Just tweet the number 67. Is that it? I should tweet, let me get 6-7 subscribers. That's been a great week this week. Fun week. We'll see what the schedule is the rest of the week. Obviously, I have shorts to put out off of today's show later today. Or in a little bit, I'll put the shorts out. I will be live at some point Saturday or Sunday for some football. Maybe. Maybe not. Probably. Maybe both days. Who knows? But make sure you're locked on. Make sure you're paying attention. We'll do a little trending in the PM weekend edition. Saturday and Sunday, maybe. Why not? What are we going to do? We'll see. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up for the day, guys. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much for a great week. Go Birds. I'll talk to you soon. Bubbles up.